Good evening and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And your host, as usual, I am Elizabeth Olujimi, aka the Thriving Coach. And I am always joined by Coach Kirubai. Kirubai, do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, I call myself a holistic transformational coach because I believe that our transformation has to start from our body, our mind, and our spirit. So that's why I call myself a holistic transformational coach. With a holistic transformational coach and the thriving coach, we present to you confidence culture conversations.
Okay. So, welcome to episode 89 of Confidence Culture Conversations. That in itself is a milestone. So, the power of consistency, consistently showing up. And, anytime that you show up, it just adds up. It adds up. It adds up and it makes a difference. So, we are grateful for you showing up to watch and to join in the conversation, but also just grateful to God that we've been able to carry this through up to today, episode 89. Now, we are on part 4 of our Put Your Dream to the Test. But before we get into that, Kirubai, how are you?
I must be honest. I mean, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, not because I feel bodily, I feel unwell, but I think there's a lot of things that I'm reflecting and contemplating. So it's a good place to be, but you know what? I'm not jumping about as as normal, you know. And yeah, it's a good place to be. No complaints, but you know what? I'm in a better place once I do this show because it's also tie what the contemplation that we go through, it also ties up with what we have been dreaming about and what how we are carrying out the dreams. So every time I sit and go through something, it kind of reflects whether I myself am I doing the things that I'm speaking about. We got to
Mm.
reflect what we speak, right? So yeah, I'm in a good place, but in a contemplative mood. Can I say that?
No, that's fine to say because you know what? We all go through moments of reflection.
Yeah.
We all go through moments where we need to take a break and just have time to rest, have time to reflect, have time to recuperate. All those moments are necessary. Sorry, I seem a bit distracted because I am wondering why this is not playing on YouTube. Um, but we will get there somehow.
Okay.
That's interesting. It is showing up, but it's not playing. Let me see if it's playing on your YouTube page, Kiribai, and I hope to God that I
Probably is
haven't missed
this it's having some glitches.
it.
Yeah. While Elizabeth,
Okay.
oh, he's playing?
I've not gotten there yet.
Okay. Technology at its best, Elizabeth. It's all right. It's
It
okay.
shows you're live. It is
Mhm.
playing, so it is playing on yours. Why is it not playing on mine? Interesting. That's interesting. It's playing on yours, not on mine.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay.
Okay.
We move
You
on.
got
We keep
to you
going.
got to see to that then.
Yeah, we keep going. We keep going. So
Yeah.
let me share your link to my WhatsApp story so
Okay.
people can join the conversation anyway.
Yes. But you know what? We had a fantastic Saturday morning.
We did. We
Yeah.
absolutely did. We absolutely did. And if anyone is watching from a glow, hello, we love you.
We had a good surprise party. We had Elizabeth sharing the word, and
Mm.
we had so many women there rejoicing together, celebrating Auntie Vicky's birthday. For those who do not know, Auntie Vicky is the president of the Paddington chapter of Aglo International.
Mm.
So, Elizabeth, would you like to share something about Aglo International?
Well, it's an international organization, right? It's an international Christian organization that really exists to. Sorry, I just need to close something here. That really exists to spread the message of the gospel. It focuses on prayer. It focuses on outreach. Um, and just raising women up to take their place on the mountains of influence, and that's really what it's about. And there's branches all over the world, and it is still growing. So there's a couple in London and the surrounding areas, so we go to the one in Paddington. Yeah, but if you want more information, please feel free to reach out to us. They do have a Facebook page, so Aglow International, and there is also Aglow International UK, so feel free to check out their Facebook pages.
And Elizabeth got me into it. We are both partners in crime. We are both partners in crime, but you know what? Enjoy the fellowship, and there are a lot of Elizabeths there, guiding the Marys, and it's good. It's good, and they have lots of food and fellowship.
Do you know what? It's women who are passionate for God, and yeah, they show up. They show up, and it's not about, this must look like this must look like that. It's, we just show up, we pray, we worship, we hear a teaching, and we have fellowship together. So it's really good. It's really good. If you are in and around London, please reach out. We would love to invite you and share details with you so you can be part of it, because guess what, we only meet once every 2 months, so it's only 6 times a year, which doesn't even feel like a lot. But we do have a conference coming up in Blackpool in May. So, hey, if you're available the weekend of, I think it's 15th and 16th of May or something around that weekend, if you're available, please reach out. We can send information to you. We can pass you the information. So yes, Saturday was amazing. It was good, because when you just avail yourself for God to do what God wants to do, and God does what He wants to do, that's what happened. And we showed up. Kirubai was leading worship along with Auntie Agatha, and that was great. And then I gave a talk, and God just did what God needed to do in the room.
Women
So
were inspired, Elizabeth. They were really inspired.
they were, absolutely. Do you know what? It's such a blessing when you speak and it touches the hearts of people. So it's not just we're speaking and it's in one ear and out the other, but it's hitting deep down. It's hitting the heart, the center. So that was really good. I was blown away, and I'm always grateful when God uses me in opportunities like that. So it's amazing. It's amazing. So Kirubai, what are we talking about today?
So today we are talking about the cost factor.
Mhm.
What is the cost that you have to lay down to get your dream to reality? And we're talking about two things: the cost factor and the tenacity question. I mean, the
Mm,
cost question and the tenacity question. Before we go into the cost question and the tenacity question, just to recap, we talked about a couple of things to realize your dream, putting your dream to test. The question is, are you owning the dream? Is there clarity in your dream?
mhm,
And can your dream become reality? How passionate are you to drive to achieve the dream?
mm,
And what is the pathway, the strategy that you need to take to get the dream to become a reality? Who are the people that you include taking alongside with you to make the dream come to reality?
mm,
So we are now on the seventh point, which is the cost. Are you willing? Are we willing together to pay the price to make our dream a reality? And Elizabeth, what are the things that are non-negotiable to realize to pay the price?
Whew. I think one of the most significant things you'll have to consider is that every dream requires time.
Mm,
You're going to have to put time to it. So it's a case of prioritizing your time. What is going to come first for you? Because if you are pursuing a dream, so a lot of times, let's say, people will pursue something, and because they're pursuing it, the evidence of the pursuit is in the time they spend in it. They give time to it. Because I say this to young people whenever I go to speak in schools. I say we all get 24 hours in the day. I get 24 hours. The king gets 24 hours. The richest man or woman you can think of gets 24 hours. But how we spend those 24 hours determines who we become. It determines what we are known for. It determines what we're remembered for. And so when you think about your dream, if you have a dream, your dream is going to require time. One of the biggest resources you'll have to put to it is time. Yes, you might need finances. Yes, you might need human resource, but your time is going to be so valuable. So how much time are you willing to give to that dream? Obviously, that means you're going to take that time probably from the other things you're currently doing. So for some, then it means less sleep. Less sleep so you can put some time into pursuing your dream. For some, it means that I might have to sacrifice some time with my family. For some, it means I might have to sacrifice some time from my hobbies or from, just relaxing. So you're going to have to find time within your 24 hours on a daily basis to put towards pursuing that dream. So for me, that's one of the biggest things, or the biggest things you have to consider in terms of what is it going to cost you. It's going to cost you financially, yes. Sometimes it can even cost you relationships,
mm,
because you're pursuing this dream so much that you have no time to pursue the relationship. And sometimes that even breaks marriages. Sometimes that breaks marriages.
so my question here again, would you compromise on your relationship? I mean, especially marriage to pursue your dream. A lot of women these days do it.
Mm,
And I mean, to be honest, I would rather keep my relationship than pursue certain things. But I, I like to relate a story here. When I got married and moved to this country, I think it's very apt to share this here at this point. I had to drop all my businesses in Malaysia. I had a thriving business in Malaysia. I had to give it up to come to this country because I couldn't pursue that. I needed to be there in person. And my husband said, one of us have to move. He said he will not move. So I had to compromise, and it really broke my heart.
mm,
It was not easy because I had a thriving business,
yeah.
and I had to give up everything, get married, and then live literally pocket money my husband gives me,
Mm,
and and not pursuing what I love to do here in this country.
mm,
It kind of took me 8 years into the marriage to actually step into what I am currently doing, step by step. But that first 8 years, it was a new husband, father in law, moving house, running the family. So many other priorities were there, but I could not move away from it. I could
mm,
not. So, but you know what? Finally, I have come to the place where I can realize parts of my dream. I'm still working on some of the dreams that God has put in my heart. But you know what? Never give up. There will be some time. Never give up. There will be some time for you to
mm,
step into that purpose that God has put in your heart to run that dream to reality.
absolutely. Thanks for
So
sharing that,
relationship is
Caroline.
not, sorry.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it was very painful initially. It was so difficult for me.
Hmm.
You know, every time you need money, you kind of have to ask your husband. Or I never asked him because he started me with, I don't know who is out there who's listening to this. He started with giving me a very small um allowance. And then I just said this prayer. I said, God, how can I live with this allowance? Because even the bus, my travel will not cover this. And
Mm.
because I used to go out quite a lot exploring London on my own because he was working like 12 hours. And then suddenly one day, I just said, Lord, I'm not going to open my mouth and ask him. He has to support me in this. And then suddenly out of the blues, he said, "Oh, I'm increasing your allowance." I said, "Hallelujah."
Hey.
Hallelujah. But that's all far gone. It's all this patience and lessons learned to trust the Lord to bring you
Mm,
through. A- And
mm.
and that's of the past. But today I'm happy that He is allowing me to pursue the things that God has put in my heart.
Well, and you know what? Sometimes the dream is not for now.
Mm, well
Because
said.
if the cost is too much, like the price that you have to pay is too much, and you're not willing to make that sacrifice, you might have to put it down for today and
Mhm,
pick it up at a different season in your life.
mhm,
Because you really have to ask yourself, what price am I willing to pay? What price am I willing to pay? What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to sacrifice? I sometimes Janaya will say to me, Mom, I don't like it when you have meetings in the evening. But when you're running a coaching business and you coach people who are not just in the UK or in the same time zone as you, but you have some clients in different time zones, you have to sometimes be flexible with your time. And so some evenings I will have a coaching session. So I'm sacrificing that time that I could be spending with her. So I have to make up for it at a different time. So, what is it that you are willing to sacrifice in pursuit of your dream? Because you have to count the cost. How much is this going to cost me to bring to life? So, yes, my time. Finances, what finances do I have to put to it? How much is it going to cost me to start? The Bible talks about, building without fast counting the cost. So count the cost. What is it going to cost me to start? Do I need a deposit of some sort to start pursuing this dream? Do I need a qualification? Do I need to put time into studying before I can start? Like, you have to think about what it's going to cost you, not just financially. But the relationship thing is actually so important, because we're not just talking about relationship between spouses, but relationships even in family. I was having a conversation with a friend a couple of sometime last week, and one of the things he said to me was, he said, I'm going to say something controversial. I said, go on then. And he said, in his opinion, and this is me paraphrasing it based on how I remember it, but in his opinion, a woman cannot successfully rise to the top of her career and successfully be a present mom.
mm,
And he kind of looked for my reaction. And I said, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean, because if I'm going to be present for my child, I'm not going to be fully present for my work. And sometimes some jobs that you do, for example, if you're a lawyer, there's a lot of demand on your time. So being able to balance being a mom who is present and still pursuing your dream are so, it's you have to really count that cost. So for me, one of the things that has helped me is actually stepping out to run my business, is helping me to be more flexible and in control of my time, to the point that I can work around my demands of being a parent, being a wife, being in ministry, and all the other different hats that I wear. So pursuing your dream is going to place demand on you. If pursuing your dream means you have to travel the world, if you're going to be traveling the world, the people that you live at home are going to be like, but mom, dad, auntie, uncle, you're never around. You're always away. What's happening? So you have to really count the cost. You have to count the cost, and you have to be willing to sacrifice that. You're going to have to put time into it. You're going to have to put energy and effort, all those things into it. Some relationships you have to let go of because they might not be conducive for you in terms of pursuing the dream. Because some of you have people, some of us have people in our circles who don't quite agree with the dream that we're pursuing. So if you're going to confidently pursue that dream, you might have to step away from that relationship for a bit in order for you to successfully, with focus, pursue that dream. So there's different things that we have to consider in terms of like the sacrifice that you have to make in order for you to achieve a dream.
Adding on to that, I think you got to develop a thick skin, because people will start criticizing you and finding fault. And sometimes if you live in an extended family like most Asians do, um, not of recent, but those days, and maybe about 10, 12 years ago, where they lived together. And, if you're a daughter-in-law trying to pursue a dream, and there your in-laws might, raise an eyebrow. They might
Mm-hmm.
raise an eyebrow saying, what is she all running all around and not
Yeah.
taking care of the needs of the family together? Because when you live in an extended family, there's tent amount of work. There's a lot of work, running the kitchen, running laundry, running all these things. It comes about. So people jointly do work. And um, and if they don't understand that it is important for you, so then you have the tongues wagging, you have all the Chinese whispers happening. And sometimes it can be very, very painful if you do not have a supportive husband,
Mm,
and children don't understand. I know of lots of women had to give up what they loved, just because to keep the peace in the family.
mm,
I don't know how it is with your African culture, but with the Asian culture, it kind of tends to be more prominent. Even like my own mother, she had to give up a lot for us as a family, even though she was a working mother. But I'm sure, if she had if the opportunity was given to her, she would have thrived and be a different person now.
yeah.
Mm,
Do you know what? And sometimes the sacrifices that we have to make are different. They look different.
mm, mm,
But the thing that you have to remember is there's always a cost to pursuing your dream. That's like newsflash, reality check. There will always be a cost to pursuing your dream. So you have to be willing to pay the price in pursuit of your dream. And if the price that you have to pay is too big a price, then go back to the drawing board. Is this the dream that I actually want? Because some sacrifices are too big a price to pay. But it's a decision that you have to make. It's a decision that you have to make. It's your dream, it's personal to you. It's personal to you. I mentioned, I think a few weeks ago, when about when I was at uni, and I had a colleague who was he was in my class, but he was a father, and he actually he had a son who was also in the same year as us, just doing a different course. And then while we were doing exams, his wife gave birth to another child. They had a couple of kids in between, and they gave birth to another child. Well, but you could tell, like, for him, he was pursuing this dream for getting, because he wanted to get his degree. But the reality was, he had a lot of demand, so he used to come to lectures late because he was doing the school run. So there's sacrifices that have to be made here and there. And you have to evaluate, what is this dream going to cost me? What is pursuing this dream going to cost me? If your dream is to be in the Olympics, you don't wake up today and tomorrow you're in the Olympics. You need to give a
Practice.
lot of time to practice, to training. You need to be dedicated. The amount of hours those athletes spend training, they have to sacrifice in terms of, they have to say no to a lot of food. There's foods that you can't eat because you're on a strict diet. They say no sometimes to socializing with people because they've got to go and train.
Yeah. Sleep early.
Yes. So what is the price that you're willing to pay? And I can't make the decision for you. You make the decision for you, because you know what the dream is, you know what your current situation is, you know what you have to put into it to make that dream a reality. We have to be realistic. Every dream, every dream costs something. Can you pay the price for your dream?
Well, food for thought.
It is. It is, because sometimes we tell people, dream big, pursue your dream, but they have to be willing to pay the price. They have to be willing to pay the price. And we talked earlier on about relationships. You might be in a relationship where one of the spouses doesn't believe in the dream of the other. What do you
Mm.
do? Do you pursue it anyway? Do you put it to one side and say, I'm in a relationship where it's frowned on, so I can't pursue it? What's the price you're willing to pay? What is the price? Sometimes pursuing your dream means you have to leave the place that you're currently in, leave the city that you stay in, leave the country that you live in, and go to another country, go somewhere else. And it might be thousands of miles away, but because you're pursuing a dream, that dream takes you to a certain location. What is the dream that you want to bring to life? What is it going to cost you? Are you willing to pay the price? That's something that we all need to think about.
So, moving on to the next question.
Yes.
Am I moving closer to my dream? The tenacity question.
Mm.
How tenacious, how driven you are in pursuing the dream.
Mm.
The passion that's fueled within you, that is pushing you closer and closer to realizing your dream.
Mm.
So I think this is more like you have to have that positive mindset, to improve your vocabulary by saying, I can do it in
Mm.
spite of, despite of, I'm um, moving towards my dream. So we have to watch what we say.
Yeah.
You got to tell the negative committee that meets in your head to
Mm.
shut up and sit down. So as you know, you guys know that Elizabeth is a mindset coach. I shall pass this time to her because she like loves to provoke you to have a change mindset. Elizabeth, so talking about improving your vocabulary, because we have to keep assuring ourselves
Mm.
that it will work. This cannot fail. But if at all it fails, then you pick up and run again.
No, do you know what? When you're pursuing your dream, you have to be all in. You have to be committed, right? You have to be all in to pursuing this dream. And that means, regardless of what is happening, I'm going to stay focused on what the end result is that I'm trying to achieve. So, yes, people might not always agree with you. You might hit some many obstacles along the way, but you have to say, come what may, this is the thing that I'm trying to build. This is what I'm trying to build. And there's a statement here in the book, right? To achieve your dream, you have to develop the ability to keep going when others quit. You need to develop tenacity. It goes without saying, because there will be time will test you, time will try you. You know how they say, how the Bible says, seed time and harvest. Before you see the harvest of the things that you're planting in line with your dream, there will be time. There is a process. You have to be fully committed. You cannot jump into the frying pan and jump out of the frying pan. You have to come out a fried egg. Like you go in as just a raw egg, and you are committed to becoming a fried egg. You can't jump out until you're ready.
I
The
like that.
process has to happen. And tenacity, like you being tenacious, is yes, I might fail along the way, but I'm going to get back up and try again. I'm going to keep going. I might hit an obstacle along the way, but I'm going to look for what my other options are. When you are tenacious, you don't see an obstacle and it ends there. You walk around it. Kirubai mentioned about vocabulary. It's the what we speak. Our words have power. Our words
Our
carry so much weight. Our words can change, and like it can change the mood in a room. It can
mm,
change the mood in a room. Imagine someone came to give you bad news. The words they're speaking will change the mood in the room. If they came to give you good news, the words they're speaking will change the mood in the room. So there are some things that you might have to take out of your vocabulary. Statements like, I don't have the resources. Look for the resources. Look for the resources. You might not have the money. So can you use other people's money? Can you create a digital product to sell? Can you come on social media and look for clients? Because social media is free, right? It's readily available to you. Can you use it as a marketing tool to help you get resources? What can you do? It's instead of saying no one is going to buy my product, change it to they're going to love my product, they're going to buy my product. Instead of saying I can't do this, I can't do that, say I can. Change your vocabulary, change what you are speaking concerning your dream, because what we don't realize that our words can kill our dream or they can bring life to our dream. Your words can bring life to your dream. But it's entirely up to you again, right? Because you have to, like I say to people, that you have to be the biggest believer of your dream. Be your biggest cheerleader. Don't wait for other people to come and say, yeah, 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 yeah. No, you look in the mirror. You tell yourself, girl, you got this. You can do this. Yes, you've hit what looks like a rock. And you're like, where do I go on from here? Sometimes it means that maybe put it down for today. Pick it back up tomorrow. But don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. A lot of us have dreams that we have started, but we have given up on. We have given up on them because we couldn't see a way out, because we couldn't see resources, because we couldn't see the end that we were looking for. But I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to speak life to your dream, to take action that is going to bring life to your dream. And I want to use the example of Ezekiel speaking to the dry bones.
Mm.
You know, he was in the valley of dry bones, and God provokes him. Like, can these bones live again? And I'm sure if we were all there, we would have been like, this ain't
Yeah.
happening. It's not gonna happen. But he believed God, and he acted on the word of the Lord. And he acted on the word of the Lord, and he was able to speak to these bonds, and these bonds came to life. So what is that dead dream? What is that dream that you have given up on? That dream that you have put to one side, that you need to pick back up again, that you need to start speaking life to. Speak life to your dream. That vision board, where is it? Dust it off. Pick it up again. Speak life to it. Look at those images. Dream again. Dare to dream. Dare to believe that your dream can become a reality. Speak it into being and start positioning yourself. Start taking action to make it a reality, because the power is within your hands to make your dream a reality. Every day you are pouring into someone else's dream, whether you like it or not. You are.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we are using a laptop, right? We are using a laptop, we're using camera, I've got lighting here. Someone's dream made this a reality. They invented this stuff, they brought it to life. We are using software to stream. Somebody sat down and came up with this software. So you are every day you are utilizing someone's dream. How much more you work on your dream, and other people are living in your dream. Other people are utilizing the results, the fruit of your dream. I remember one time some this little funny thing that was going around, saying, don't sit around, don't sit around watching the TV with a man who has no vision. And this is me paraphrasing it. And it was literally because you are watching someone else's vision on your television instead of getting up to work on your vision. So, what is that dream that you need to work on? This is where we need to develop resilience. While we are being tenacious, we need resilience. You might hear so many no's, you might hear so many negative reports, but that's not reason enough to put your dream to one side. Failure is part of the process. Failure is part of the process. Don't give up because you failed once. Don't give up because you failed 5 times. Pick it back up again. Yes, it might mean that maybe you go and redevelop yourself. When I say redevelop yourself, go and grow a bit more. Go and invest in yourself so that you are wiser and stronger when you pick it up again.
And you know what? It cannot be, your dream cannot be an instant noodle.
Mm,
It has to be like a good gherkin, it's marinating. Like sometimes, we at this time and age, we want things instantly, everything instant, instant, instant. But certain things, it needs to be soaked and marinated to bring forth that beautiful flavor and taste and color and all the attributes that brings the culmination of things birthed forth in a dream. And I'm guilty to it. Sometimes I'm impatient with myself because
mm,
why isn't this working? But you know what? Even as I speak now, I have to reassure myself. It's having the right vocabulary, saying it matters, it will work, and
mm.
probably it takes time, but it will work at
But
the
it
end.
will work.
Yeah,
Mm,
I will see an end positive result. So don't rush the process.
mm.
Work at it, work on yourself, work at it. Sometimes you just need some extra skills.
That's it. Sometimes you just need mentorship.
Yeah.
Get in the
Put
room with
things
the
in
right people.
perspective. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Wow. You know, she just kept me in a place of reflection even more because I'm speaking to myself as I'm listening. I'm speaking to myself that, you know what, I can never be discouraged
mm,
because there is something that is brewing in the pot at the moment for me. And the processes are taking longer than usual because it ties up with other people. They're not delivering what I want at a specific time. And that's frustrating.
mm,
But everyone works in their own time and their space. They do not understand my urgency, but I have to be patient.
mm.
So, you know what? How can we overcome this? How can we overcome this? So, meanwhile, waiting, you work on other things.
That's it. That's it. What is one thing that you can do today to move you closer to your dream? What is one thing that you can do today that will get you a step closer to your dream? What does that dream look like? What are the different facets of this dream that you could be working on? Who do you need in your circle? Who do you need in the room? Whose ear do you need? Sometimes, when I'm speaking to clients who particularly want to pursue maybe starting a business or something of the sort, I say to them, the Bible talks about David, he encouraged himself in the Lord. There are going to be moments where you have to encourage yourself.
Mm.
There will be moments where you have to encourage yourself. You have to speak to yourself. But it also helps to have the right people around you so that the days when you're feeling down, there are people you can reach out to and they can help you to reignite the fire. Or there's something that they can send you that will help you to just reignite. There is nobody out there who has pursued a dream and never like hit an obstacle at one point in pursuing that dream. Every dream, every dream. You see all these things that you see, they went through testing. The laptops, they had to test it. The lights, it had to be tested before when someone was designing it. Do you know how many prototypes he went through in order to
Mhm.
get just the light that works? Do you know like the amount of testing, product testing that people have to do? It's rare that someone will make something and it's perfect from the onset. I think the only person that can do that is God, because he made us, right? He did not say, oh, this man does not look right, let me recreate him. No, he made and it was beautiful. But for us as human beings, we go through prototypes. Look at, look, speak to an engineer, speak to a scientist, they'll tell you like you go through prototypes. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you even write a book and the book looks perfect, but as you're reading it, you're like, oh, I missed a dot there, I missed a full stop there, I missed, like, you might find just one thing. No, there are perfectionists out there, but even in being perfectionists, sometimes we can miss it. But what you need to remember is that as you're pursuing your dream, there are going to be moments where you will hit a brick wall. There are going to be moments where someone might say to you, it's not going to work. There are going to be moments where you will feel like you have failed. But I want to encourage you. Let those moments be the very thing that push you to keep going. Don't allow those moments to kill the pursuit of your dream. Don't give those moments the power to
Mm.
kill your dream. If your dream is worth bringing to life, give it what it needs. Breathe that life into it. What is that dream? Are you willing to pay the price? If you have already answered the cost question to say you're willing to pay the price, then you have to be, this is why I say you have to be all in. You have to be committed. You have to be committed. So yes, you fail, you get back up again. Yes, you have a bad day. You might have a day where like there were no clients, you put some messages out there, nobody responded. You get back up again tomorrow, you hit the ball rolling. Because there is a process. You don't start the dream on day one and finish on day one. Your dream does not materialize on day one. When you start day one, that is the beginning. Just like we talked about last time when you were building a house, it is not on day one that the house is finished. You start by designing it before you even start digging anything into the ground. You design, you
Blueprint.
come up with what it's going to look like, and then you start to put the work in. You start to put the work in, but you have to be committed. You have to be committed. And you have to be willing to tell yourself, no matter what, I am in it for the long haul. I am in it for the long haul. You have to be in. You can't win if you're not in.
And if you're a perfectionist, you will truly lose the plot. I can tell you that. Because if you waiting, if we are waiting and waiting to have everything, all the components in the right place, we will never realize the dream.
Mm,
So it is like you got to take it at its stride, step by step, step by step, step by step. It will unfold and will become a beautiful dream.
mm.
So for those who are perfectionists, it's a word of caution. Don't wait for everything to fall in place.
And sometimes the steps get harder as
Mm.
you're progressing in the dream, as you're progressing in making your dream a reality. It becomes more demanding. It's like when you start a business, and that as the business is growing, you might be thinking, "Oh, I can take a break," but as the business is growing, there's more demand. So then you start thinking about, "Oh, I need to hire a team. Oh, I need to manage this. Or I need to manage that. I need to juggle this. I need to juggle that." So you really have to think about those different aspects. Don't start without first counting the cost. Come up with a strategy, a plan. How am I going to execute this? Look at who you need in the room. Get them into your circle, into your room, so that as you're building, you know who you can reach out to, you know who you can call on to, you know who can give you some guidance. Don't go into pursuing your dream blindly. Don't go into it blindly, because you are more likely to jump out if you go into it blindly. It's like going
Yeah.
into a marriage blindly. It's easy to jump out.
Yeah. So true. So true. Yeah, so true. So we have discussed quite a bit today. A lot of thought-provoking questions. I am sure that's rising within your soul. But keeping all that in mind, still run the race of achieving your dream. Because don't forget, if you're a person of faith, you have the Holy Spirit and you have God holding your hand.
Mm,
And it's important that he is in the picture. If he's not in the picture, it's rather tough climb. But if he's in the picture, becomes a little bearable, a little easy,
Mm,
and a little no, it is little bearable, little easy, but it's more achievable
mm,
because you have the third person, you know, with you helping you out, or the second person. So I'm excited. If you have a dream being birthed, you want to birth it forth, why not?
mm.
Take the chance.
That's it. That's it.
Take the chance.
You're the best person to pursue that dream because it's
Yeah,
your dream.
yeah. It's your dream.
Don't leave your dream to
So,
chance. Be
yeah.
intentional with that.
So your if you want some help to realize a dream, we are here, Elizabeth and myself. We can share with you the journey that we have experienced.
Mm,
So, firsthand, there is each of us have gone through our journey. We are still realizing the dream. Some we have realized, but we are pursuing other dreams, bigger and better dreams for the glory of God. But you know
mm.
what? We are happy to help you. And next week, the final two questions that we are going to pursue is the fulfillment question. Does working towards my dream brings satisfaction? What is the point of working so hard when at the last leg of the race we are not at all satisfied with the
Mm.
outcome? So we're going to talk about that point and also the significance of the dream that's going to become a reality. How is it going to benefit others? How are you going to touch lives with your dream? I'm actually very excited. I love the fact that comes with purpose and your
Mm.
destiny. It's all tied up. So, Elizabeth, that's my final words for today.
Yeah, give your dream a chance. Give it a chance, but don't go into it blindly. And the cost might look very costly. So you determine whether it's too big a price for you to pay. But I also want to say don't let the cost scare you. Don't let the cost scare you. Because sometimes we do that. We look at it and we price it and we say it's too much. Don't let the cost scare you. If that dream is worth bringing to life, if it's worth pursuing, make the decision and pursue it if it is worth pursuing. And this is where those next two questions are going to come in really handy. Because when you can see how significant your dream is going to be, it gives you the why to pursue your dream. It gives you the extra oomph, the fuel, the fire that you need to pursue your dream. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Um, Thank you for being here today. Please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels. This is available on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Do connect with us as well. Do comment. If you watch it on replay, do comment. Let us know that you are watching. We would love to hear how this has triggered some things for you. Hopefully, positive triggers to help you get up and dust off that dream so you can start taking action towards making it a reality. Thank you once again for joining us, and we will see you next week for episode 90. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, see you next week. God bless you.
Good night.